Hey everyone, it's Michelle Vina-Baltsas this Friday, and I was just reading through some of the posts from a post I made yesterday, or some of the comments to a post I wrote yesterday about what is the most challenging thing that you've experienced since, divorcing or giving up on diet culture. And thank you to all who responded. Hi, Debbie. Some of the responses were so, made me so sad, they really did. I am so, so thankful for them. Sad because, this is not easy. Ditching diet culture is not easy. And it sounds like, oh, the freedom, how great it's going to be not to be dieting anymore. Hi, Val, not to be dieting anymore and this and that and the other thing. But the reality of it is that doing something different than what 99% of the population is doing is not easy. So, ladies, let's give ourselves a hand. That's the first thing, because pat yourself on the back, because pardon my French, this shit is hard. It just is. And reading through the comments really brought some of this back home to me. In my position, people know my stance, and I travel in very different circles. So, I do work part-time in an office, so I have to hear some of that nonsense sometimes. But even there, I've made my my feelings about dieting and things like that very clear to people. Not initially, it took some time, but I don't listen to the conversation. When people say things to me, I challenge it, but I don't want to get off on a tangent about that. My point is that I get it. I also understand that it's lonely. This can be a very lonely path. As they say, the road less traveled. This is not easy stuff. And as I say all the time, diet culture surrounds us 24/7. It is relentless. Everything that we see out there, specifically in advertising, is laced with diet culture. And the not enoughs and the, well, if you look like this, you're better, all of that, this is better, that's not so good. Health stuff constantly about what's good, what's bad in terms of food, and it goes not just with the food and everything else, but also, which I'm more sensitive to now, about age. And, well, that person looks better than that person, and it is sickening. Bottom line is, all bodies are good bodies. We all have value. And when we remind ourselves that our value is not tied up in a number, in an age, in a size, in a shape, or any of that nonsense, none of our value comes from the external bullshit that diet culture wants us to believe. Our value comes from inside. Our value comes simply from the fact that we're born and we have a place here, because if we didn't provide some value to this earth, we wouldn't be here. And when you can truly, truly embody that, it's a game changer. And yet, diet culture chips away at that. And the reason why it's so important that we stick together, especially in this group, and find other places where you feel safe and supported, is because that chipping away, eventually chunks start to fall off and you can lose your way really easily, because it's around 24/7, and there's a lot more of them than there are of us. So sticking together is really important. But a couple of things that people said that really touched me is just that they don't feel like they fit in, because their beliefs are so different. And the reality is that they are, and Val is a fitness professional, and she's fantastic. And she said, imagine in her world, she's a fitness professional, and everybody around her is talking about their body and their weight and how many carbs they're having and how much protein. I can only imagine. I can hear the chatter, and I want to vomit just thinking about it. So, kudos to her for sticking it out and sticking with what she knows is right for her and for her clients, because it's not easy. This is swimming against the grain. swimming up upstream, going against the grain, no question about it. So, fitting in, this was a really good one. Feeling pressure from, hi Sam, feeling pressure from medical professionals. And that is real, ladies. That is real. And I want to remind you that in the files section in this group, I have a bunch of resources on how to build resilience in that area, because the fact of the matter is that some people are not getting proper medical attention. Because why? Because they fear that stupid scale that is in a very public area, in most offices, in a very public area, to weigh their patients. So go to the file section if you want some resources there. Another really great one from Cynthia was mourning the thin ideal. That stuff is real. Again, thanks, diet culture. Oh, great. So I'm glad you're here too, Sam. I know you're off on Fridays. Julie had a great one, guilt about not losing weight. Again, when you're speaking a different language, and if you're in a larger body and people are just like, what's up with that, and if you may be doing whatever, it's like, if you're not thin, there's something wrong. This is what our culture believes. If you're not thin, you're doing something wrong. And of course we know that that's not true. But again, a lot of people aren't speaking our language, so it's hard. And the other ones were related to, what do we do when people around us have lost weight and we've chosen not to make that a priority in terms of complimenting? We've taken a stance against, because that really is like congratulating diet culture. And people have different beliefs about that. As I said in my comment, my response was, I don't compliment people on their weight loss, but I slather on the compliments about other things about them, and I love to give compliments, but you won't find me giving a compliment about someone's weight loss. I just don't do that kind of stuff anymore, because to me, all bodies are good bodies and they looked great before. So why do I need to mention that? So, that outfit looks great on you. That color brings out your eyes, whatever. I love the way you handled that situation. You were so diplomatic. There's so many other ways you can compliment somebody. It doesn't have to be about their weight. So all of this to say that I'm so appreciative of your comments. I hope that I get more there, because I think it's so important to release this shame that so many people have. It's real, and shame eats us alive. It can eat us up alive. So when I read these things, it made me a little emotional, because it made me emotional, but on the other side of that coin, I'm so grateful that I asked the question and that people had a place that they felt safe enough to dump that shit there. And excuse my language, I'm very passionate today, to dump it there and to release some of that shame, because this stuff will kill us. It will kill us. I'm convinced that shame is worse than cancer or any other illness. It eats us up alive, and it causes things like that, like cancer and other horrible illnesses. But please keep responding. But I did respond to everyone, but I did say to a few people in the group that all their feelings are valid. The loneliness is real. The pressure from physicians is real. And everything that everybody said is 110% valid, 1,000 times valid. But one of the ways to deal with these feelings and with this shame is not just to release it, having a safe place to do that, but to build resilience, to build skills, to build coping skills. So important, because without that, even if you've been at this a while, none of this stuff goes away overnight. It takes a long time to build resilience and to build coping skills. And it also takes time for our brains to rewire themselves. That takes a lot of practice. And by being in safe places, hi Laverne, by being in safe places and being able to release this stuff, eventually we do start to rewire that thinking in our head, but it takes time. So keep going, ladies, because you're doing a great job, and certainly talking about it, hola chica, certainly talking about it helps it, and knowing that you're not alone is so important, because that feeling of isolation, it's right up there with the shame. Thinking that you're the only one, bleh. sickening. You're not. So you're not alone. I get the shame. I really understand it. It is so common for this type of work. Again, building those skills up, and I have to say, building the skills and having a safe place to do that is part of the reason why I created or am building up or forming this intuitive eating workbook club, because going through the principles in detail and really getting into the nitty gritty of them and seeing what comes up, because stuff is going to come up. And then what are you going to do with it? If you don't have a safe place to land, it really makes it hard. So I'm going to drop the link again. I've been talking about this all week. Because why? Because I'm excited about it. Because we have a nice, intimate group of people. And I just know magic is going to happen there. And I'm really excited about it. So the special $87 price is valid through tonight. We start on Wednesday. I've spoken about this a lot. So I'll just drop the link, and conversations like this and sharing like this is what's going to happen in that club. And I'm really psyched about it because it will be private, it will be safe, it's non-judgmental. It's just going to be like a love fest, and we're going to be exploring so many different things, building skills, and I'm really excited about it. I hope that some of you will consider. Some who are on this call have already signed up, and my heart is so, so happy. If more sign up, that's great. But if not, that's okay too. So I'll drop the link. Thanks again to whomever commented about what's like their number one challenge with dumping diet culture. I appreciate it. And if you want to add more, that's fine. I hope more people respond. And that's it. So I'll drop the link. See you later. And that's it. Thanks, ladies. Have a great weekend. Bye.